Today I'm going to show you how to make a gingerbread nativity.
And in case you're wondering who we are, I'm Abby.
And I'm Joseph Wall.
So, before we start off anything, what's the first thing we need to do?
The first thing we need to do is wash our hands.
Let's do it.
Don't forget soap.
We're going to be doing lots of cooking today and other bits as well. But if ever you want to stop and pause because you need to catch up a little bit, don't forget that you can do that because we are online today. So do use that pause button whenever you need to. But because Joe is the baking champion, I'm going to step out now and let him take over.
The ingredients you will need will be the other things you will need are a saucepan, a set of scales, some baking trays and some baking paper. The first thing you have to do is measure out your butter / margarine and golden syrup into a saucepan. If you are a young one, make sure you have a parent with you when you go over to your hob to melt it. So the butter's almost melted and it is turning into quite a nice syrup. So once it's fully melted and stuff and every lump has gone, turn it off and let it cool for a moment. Next, you need to measure your dry ingredients in a bowl. After that, you should mix it all together. Mix it all together to make sure everything is fully combined. Now the next thing you need to do is take your 2 large eggs and add them to the dry ingredients. If you use a parent's help if you need to. There you go. Oh, gosh. Make sure not to get any shell in there. And then after that, add it to your syrupy butter. And then you just mix until you form a dough that is quite firm. And has a brown colour to it. Make sure the flour is fully combined with the syrup. At this point, you can start getting your hands in there with the dough shape. Make sure everything is fully covered and combined. If it's getting too dry, then you can add a splash of milk to help it loosen. Once all combined, place in cling film and leave in your fridge until firm. It will take about half an hour. Wrap it up like you're wrapping a Christmas present. Get your parents to help if you are young. looks all done, into the fridge it shall go.
If you want to super speed this process, then you can put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes, but don't leave it in there too long. You don't want it to get any freezer burn. So while we have got that chilling, perhaps you would like to come and join me, and we're going to start to make the shapes of the figures that we have for the Nativity story. If you've got cutters, you can use them, but we're going to draw out some of the figures using a pen and a box to make it nice and simple. So the first thing that we're going to make a shape of is going to be the stable, because we want to put our Nativity figures in somewhere. I'm going to be drawing around a box, and this box is about 15 centimetres along the base and about 8 centimetres up the side. So you can either choose a box yourself that you want to draw around, or you can use a ruler. It's up to you. I'm just not very good at doing right angles. And we're going to need 4 of these, because we're going to need a couple of sides and also a roof. So first things first, we're going to put it on our tray. Then I've got my permanent marker and I'm just going to draw around my box, because what we're going to do is we're going to use this as our template to roll out our gingerbread onto. So that's 1, and leave a bit of a space. I'll show you why we're going to leave a bit of a space in a minute. All the way around the box. 2. And 3. And 4. So that is going to be the start of our gingerbread stable. So we've got 2 bits for the roof, 2 bits for the side, and then we're going to do another one, and this is going to form the back piece. So we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around the middle, and then we're going to make it arch up to the middle, because then we will be able to sort of glue our roof on. So we've got a back piece to the stable, 2 sides and 2 roofs. But who else do we actually need in the Nativity? Now, if you've got a gingerbread cutter, you may want to use the cutter for the people, and that's absolutely fine. But we're just going to draw out some simple shapes which we can use for our gingerbread people. Now, who is the most important person that we need to add into this story? It's Jesus. So, and in the Nativity story, Jesus is in a manger. So we're going to build a manger like this. So it's a nice triangle with some legs coming off, and Jesus lying in the manger. We're also going to need some of his parents, and I'm not going to fit his parents on there, but what I will probably be able to fit is a nice sheep. So we're going to do a little round face, and then some woolliness, some little legs, and a little tail. The thing about gingerbread is it is going to grow a bit, so you want to leave some room around your figures so that the gingerbread can expand. And so also, if your gingerbread doesn't look exactly like the shapes that you have made, it's not a problem because we're going to ice them in a little bit, and that will give it a little bit more of a distinctive kind of shape. So if it doesn't look exactly like your shape that you've drawn on your baking parchment, that's not a problem. So now we're going to do his mum Mary, and Mary, we're going to do a long line up. This again is about 8 centimeters, and this is her head. And then we're going to do a little thing for her hands, and then she wears a nice dress. So we're going to just make a shape like that. Who else is in the nativity story? Who do you think, Joe?
Joseph.
Joseph! So again, we're going to do a nice head for Joseph, and he's going to be looking down as well. And we can also have him pray. So there's a nice figure for Joseph. And I know you're saying at the moment that looks like mittens. It doesn't really look like people at all. But wait for the icing. The icing is going to bring it all together. Then we're going to have some kings. So we're going to do a little king shape person. And the thing that I like about doing gingerbread like this is you can make it into actually a very, very simple shape, which makes it nice and easy when we're trying to cut it out. So we've got an angel. And I wonder if we're going to have a room for a shepherd as well. I'm going to go back to this space here. I'm going to try and put in a star. So the way that I do my stars to make them look a little bit star shape is by drawing this shape. And that's the only way that I know how to draw stars. If you can do a better star, I would love to see some of the photos of the gingerbread nativity that you have done. We're going to see how much gingerbread we've got left after we've done these figures. And if we've got enough, then we will make a couple of extra figures. So perhaps a donkey, perhaps an angel in there as well. Perhaps we'll make some more wise men, but we're just going to see how much gingerbread we've got. And if we've got enough, then obviously we can do more figures.
Before you get your gingerbread out, you will need these extra accessories. A rolling pin to roll the gingerbread, a chopping board and some flour which will go on the chopping board and rolling pin to stop the gingerbread from sticking. First off, get your gingerbread out of your cling film. And we're going to be starting with the stable. So if you have a big chunk like I do, it would be best to chop it so that you have enough to stay in to be able to do all the gingerbread. I believe that it would be best if you keep the gingerbread, your other bit of gingerbread, in the cling film so that it doesn't go stale. So first off, rolling time. So actually no, first off, which I forgot to do, is flour my surface. And roll it. Then take your gingerbread and roll it until it is really thin.
How thin's really thin, Joe?
Let's say about half a centimetre.
Okay.
It should be around that thickness. So let's say about, if you don't have a ruler or anything, half your finger.
If you're very little, then it might be a whole finger
Yes,
as well.
sorry. Okay. The next thing to do is to get your cutters, which Abby happily did. Although, for some of you youngsters, it might be best if you cut it out and cut round the shape. I'm just making a dent for the outside of one of the wheels. Do it again 4 more times.
So you made your nice indent and now you're cutting all the way through, huh, Joe?
Yes. If you have a cutter, that is perfectly fine as well.
So while Joe's doing that, you can see here that we've got some baking parchment, but if you don't have any baking parchment, it's not actually a problem. What we can do, we can grab some of the flour, just a little bit of flour here, use up all the flour, and we're going to sprinkle it over our baking tray. Because these cookies are actually pretty good at not sticking. So all you need is a little bit of flour and that will loosen them off of the tray. And then you stick it on. So don't worry if you haven't got any fancy baking equipment. There are ways in which you can do it without needing any of the bits and pieces. Just like that, nice floured surface, ready for your cookies. Joe, you cutting out the others now?
Yes. You do it 4 more times to make the 4 walls. There we go.
So Joe, do you think I can have a go at making some of the people?
You can.
Thanks. Thank you very, very much. I think I'm going to start by doing Mary.
Okay.
I'm going to roll it out exactly the same as you did before.
Yes.
I'm going to freehand it. So I'm going to go straight up like I did with the drawing, round her head, pair of hands, and down her skirt. Something like this, but it doesn't look very much like a person at all. but it will do once we've iced them.
Oh.
Not much like a baby at the moment, but the icing. So all of the rest of the figures we can do the same shape, can't we?
Yes.
Apart from the sheep, if we get around to the sheep. But we need to leave some. Why do we need to leave some?
For the making it of the 3D.
Yeah, so if you want to make yours stand up, then we're going to be using some of the gingerbread as bases, and then we're going to stick the pieces on, and it will make them stand up in the stable.
Yeah. Try the angel.
So the angel we've added wings onto, haven't we, Jay?
Yes.
So we'll take you around to see.
See here.
So they're a bit like a keyhole, and then with added bits on the side.
Yeah. You could do like a normal person and then just wings on the back, but we'll see how it goes.
That's the joy about doing it like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can do your own kind of shapes.
Now that you have cut up your gingerbread nativity, it is time for it to go in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Whilst we are waiting for the gingerbread to cook, we're going to start making the icing. So, what you will need is a small bowl and a teaspoon, along with icing sugar and water. First off, we need to measure 200 grams of icing sugar. Next, you will want to add half a teaspoon of water. The reason that you need half a teaspoon is so that you can make the icing sugar thick, so that the walls of your stable stick together.
What we'll do is we'll add just a teeny tiny bit at a time, and then as we go along we can make sure that it's not getting too runny. So what do you think, Joe? Do we need to add just a little bit more?
Yeah, I think a little bit more.
So shall we do it a teaspoon this time?
Yeah.
that consistency is perfect. You basically want to be able to spread it with a knife like you would margarine. That's the sort of consistency that you're looking for. And so I think, Joe, you've got it absolutely perfect there. And you did that by adding it just a little bit of water at a time. So that's the white stuff we're going to use for sticking the thing together. How much time have we got left?
I think it's about time we take our first batch out. Let's have a look.
And what do we need to know before we open the oven?
Okay, if you are a young child, make sure you get an adult to help you, but get your gingerbread out. Here we are. Let's
There's our first lot. And Joe, are we going to ice these straight away?
No, you have to wait for them to cool down before you ice them, otherwise you'll end up with a mess.
So while those are cooking, we're going to make some cool other colours. Now, if you don't have any other colours, don't worry about it. You can just do your icing with white icing. But we have got some different coloured gels which we're going to add in, and we're going to ice some of our people, so some of the kings and Mary and Joseph in some different colours of icing. So we're going to make that up now. And for this icing, we can actually do it a little bit thinner, can't we, Joe? And we've got some really, really funky colours here. So we've got a nice bright orange, we've got green, we've got blue, I wonder who's going to be a blue, we've got red, and we've got yellow, which I think we might use for the hay of the manger. What do you think?
Now it makes sense.
And maybe the star, although we've also got some sprinkles as well, which I'm super excited about.
What we are going to be doing is we're going to be taking the cooked bits of gingerbread that look like the stable, and we will be using the thick icing to mold them together so that they stand up.
Okay, so I'm going to spread it just along the edge like this, as if it was butter.
You could say as if it was concrete.
As if it's concrete. I mean, that is exactly what we're doing, using this icing as concrete. Sorry, did you want another one? And then you can
It's fine.
start on that one.
Yep. Is this the roof or the side?
That's the side.
Okay, good.
And as you can see, I'm putting on quite a lot because we want it to be quite thick so that it will hold together well. In fact, yeah. I might use some of the slightly looser one as well. Like a more runny version. Maybe. Right. So yours, I hope, might work out better than ours, but still, we've got a stable. That's a good start.
Just about.
Right, so next is our people.
Yeah, first off, we need to get Jesus. He's the main reason we're here.
So the gingerbread colour actually works really well for him to be in the manger, but we need some hay and we definitely need a baby Jesus in there as well. But to make him stand up, we've got our bases, and what we're going to do is stick the bases at the back here so that they stand up a little bit, and then we need more of our white icing, so along the sides there. We need a bit more than that, I think, though.
Just smoothing down.
I'm going to put some of the hay on. Put my hay on there, and I can get a little bit of our white icing. Yeah. And some of our white icing. And then we need a little face as well. What do you think? Some of this one?
Yeah.
Teeny tiny bit. Do you want to try and do it? Little blob in there. And I might need to put some more of the yellow onto the hay. And while you're doing that, I'm going to start on Mary.
There we go.
Perfect. We've got a little baby Jesus. Oh, actually, I might put that somewhere. And these, before you're worrying about me drawing cookies, are special pens, which you may have at home or you may not, but you can just use some of the icing. That's absolutely fine. We just saw them and I got really excited, so I bought them as well. Then our baby Jesus can stand up.
I feel like he needs an eye.
So what I've just done is I've just put the support vertically down the back, and that should help him to stand up like so. You're going to put an eye on him.
I was going to, yes.
I'm just a bit worried that our icing is going to smush down. So I think although we will put him stood up at some point, I think at the moment. So I did say I would show you how to ice, if you don't have any coloured icing, how to make your gingerbread nativity iced with just white icing. So what you need is you need some of your baking parchment and paper, and what you want to do is roll it. So if you fold it across like a triangle, and then just carry on rolling it until you have this cone with a very, very sharp point. Just at the bottom here. got your cone and it comes down to a point. You're going to put some of your icing in there. So this icing you want to be a bit more runny, like Joe was saying, that kind of slimy icing is what you're looking for at this point. In fact, my cone is just a bit too long, so I'm just going to put it off so it's easier for me to manage. Take that out of your way. So my cone is here, I'm going to put my icing in. Hopefully not get any on Jesus, because he is looking beautiful. So my cone is nice and full, and I'm just going to twist up the top so it doesn't come out the top. And it should, no, just, there you go, can you see?
There you go, nice and
Coming out
line.
a nice little line. If you wanted to just spread it on with the knife, then you can do that too. But this way, you have a bit more control about what you are putting on your cookie. I'm going to make this one into one of the kings. Can you see? And just like that, we've got one little king, all done out of the white icing. So I'm going to leave him there for the moment while we carry on decorating all of our other bits and pieces. If you want to carry on, I'm going to wash my hands because they're a bit sticky.
I'm going to start off with donkey.
So we finished making our nativity set and putting all of those little backs on our people, and we've had so much fun. Have you had fun?
Yes, I have. It looks great.
We really hope that you really enjoy making your nativity too, and more importantly, we hope you really enjoy eating it. But from me
And Joseph.
we wish you a very Merry Christmas. Merry
Bye
Christmas!
bye. Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.